Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Toria and today we're going to be talking about books, specifically the most beautiful books that I own, or some of the most beautiful books that I own, and what makes them so beautiful. Some of them are illustrated, some of them are just beautifully bound, some are both. Some are a bit more simple, but the reason they've been done the way they are is what makes them special. So I'm looking forward to going through that, and hopefully you think that they're lovely too. I'll see if I can find the link for the books that I mentioned today, and if I do, I'll put that in the description down below. Now, of course, these are my opinions. These are just my personal favourite books that I own in terms of how they look. There are other beautiful books out there. I have more beautiful books, but these are just my favourites. So hopefully you like them too. In no particular order, although I will save my favourite for last, here are the 8 most beautiful books in my collection. Beginning with 2 books. These are Harry Potter, Special Illustrated Edition. I actually don't know what they've called these. Designed and illustrated by Mina Lima. Not only is the outside of these books absolutely stunning, but the inside is full of incredible illustrations that go step by step through the whole story with you. But not only that, some of them are interactive, and that just takes it to a whole new level. From being able to read the letter from Dumbledore that Hagrid gives to Harry, to looking inside Hogwarts, to seeing Diagon Alley unfold, it's just absolutely incredible. There's even this gorgeous illustration of the Great Hall where you get to fold it down and see it turn into Yule celebration time, the feast. And that's one of my favorites. And then for the second one, they've got little bits that kind of move about. For instance, this bit where Harry's using the flu powder for the first time, you can see his tumbled journey of chaos. And then there's a pop-up where you see them crashing into the tree in the flying car. These are absolutely stunning, and if you're looking for some interactive, beautiful books, I would highly recommend them. Next up, we have the 80th anniversary edition of Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this book. Now, unlike the one before, this isn't illustrated, it's not got any pop-outs or anything, it is simply a book with just words. However, what I think is really special about this is the way it's been designed really ties in with the story. So as you can see, the dust jacket is this beautiful white, it's got these gold little details, it's got the R for Rebecca, which is on all of her possessions and stationery. It kind of looks very classy and kind of hopeful about the life that the main character might be going into. A bit naive, perhaps? And then inside, it's completely red with the same R embossed into it. And that just really reminds me of the red rhododendrons. It's very ominous, I think. I love that they chose to go this route with it. Heading back towards something that's illustrated, next up we have Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, illustrated by Paul Kidby, I think it is. Yeah. It's a beautiful hardback bound book with a very lovely and simple colour palette that's then used throughout the illustrations inside. It has a combination of these lovely glossy coloured illustrations of different characters and events throughout the book, but it also has black and white illustrations dotted throughout it as well, such as this one and this one. Absolutely beautiful. Love this book. Story's great too, of course. Back to something a bit more simple, this canvas hardback of Shadow and Bone with a sprayed edge. I don't have many sprayed edge books in my collection. I absolutely adore them, so I would like that to change. But I particularly like this one for the colour palette that they've chosen to go for. I think it's very appropriate for the book itself, the contents of the story. And I feel like the illustrations that they've chosen to include just really highlight some of the key elements from the story, which I won't go into because you might not have read it, but it's appropriate. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but I absolutely love this cover and I would be happy to judge it by this cover because I adored the book and I adore the cover. And that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Now there's a lot of cloth-bound classics out there, different designs, pretty much all of them are absolutely stunning, but the thing that I love about this one especially is the colours that they've chosen to use are not what I would have expected to see a classic paired with. It is bright red, bright red, and this electric blue coupled with the silver. The inside leaf of the book is the same in that it uses a bold colour. It is this shocking blue that matches the front of the book. And I just really feel like the red and blue and silver combined, it very much seems like blood, electricity, lightning, all of those things combined. It just perfectly suited to the book. Now for something non-fiction, Hamilton. This was a Christmas present from my husband a few years ago when I was absolutely obsessed with the Hamilton musical. I think I still am obsessed with the Hamilton musical. I know basically every word to every song. Almost every word to every song. And so he got me this so that I could learn more about it, learn more about the history. He also gave me the biography of Hamilton that Lin-Manuel Miranda read that inspired Hamilton the musical. That I've read less of because it is very intense. Big book. But this was wonderful. It has been bound to look a lot like an old book, at least the spine has. I absolutely love that throughout this book you have photographs of the stage show, of rehearsals, different cast members, alongside annotations from creating the production, from how they staged it, to historical notes about what inspired the events that are happening on stage. I would absolutely recommend this book to anyone who likes this musical. It is fantastic. Back to something that doesn't have illustrations, we have Dracula by Bram Stoker. I love that this book has basically been done to look like a castle. It has the castle on the back, castle details down the spine, it has doorways, windows. It's like Dracula's castle. I think that was a great choice. And it's got a silver sprayed edge. I mean, I love a sprayed edge, so big fan. I said I would save the best for last, or my favourite for last, because it's subjective. But last up, we have this copy of The Hobbit, illustrated by Alan Lee. This is my absolute favourite book that I own. It's a bit bulky, so actually reading it feels heavy. It's not one you want to drop on your nose, but visually, it's absolutely incredible. In terms of the outside, I think that the dust jacket is perfectly lovely. It's got a brilliant picture of Smaug, and there are little gold details representing the wealth. And of course, inside it is this green cloth-bound design with a beautiful gold inlay of Smaug as well. But just flicking through and seeing some of these illustrations, I mean, seeing the dwarves in Mirkwood, watching Bilbo stand off against goblins, seeing the Riddles in the Dark illustration where he's confronted by Gollum, and the illustrations of Smaug are just beautiful. I've probably said stunning and beautiful a million times in this video, but it is true. That's what it is. So there you have it. My 8, technically 9 because the Harry Potter book was 2, but my 8 favourite books that I own in terms of the visuals, the way it's been bound, the illustrations, so the most beautiful books in my collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun for me to make. I really enjoyed picking out my favourites. Some of them were very obvious choices to me. A couple of others, it was like, ooh, I think that one. So let me know in the comments which of these is your favourite of the ones that I've shown you today, or let me know what your favourite beautiful book that you own is. People always say don't judge a book by its cover, and I do agree, but sometimes the cover can really sell the book. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to keep in touch in the meantime before my next one, I am on Instagram and occasionally on Twitter. Links are in the description, as are hopefully the links to some of these books. And I will see you next week in a new video. Thank you for watching. Mwah! Bye!